Friends, if you've ever tried building anything with AI, you already know the biggest bottleneck isn't the idea, it's infrastructure. GPUs are expensive, setting up servers is messy, and scaling things properly can take more time than actually building the product itself. Now imagine skipping all of that. No hardware, no DevOps headaches, just your code running on powerful GPUs, scaling automatically when needed. I am Daniel, welcome to my channel where I make smart tutorials. Today we're breaking down runpod, a platform that's quietly becoming the backbone for a lot of AI startups and indie developers. It's not just GPU rental, it's a full infrastructure layer that lets you train, fine-tune, and deploy models as scalable APIs without managing servers. Also, I've left all the useful links in the description down below, so don't forget to check them out. Let's get into it. Alright folks, let's walk through this step by step and actually deploy something real, because that's where runpod really starts to make sense. The goal is simple: take your local code and turn it into a scalable API that can handle real traffic without you worrying about infrastructure. So the first thing we're going to do is connect a GitHub repository. Now you can use pre-built templates from the hub or even run code locally, but for this demo I'm using my own repo. I've got everything prepared in Visual Studio Code: the model logic, dependencies, and the handler function that processes incoming requests. Quick note here, mates, your repo structure matters more than people think. You typically need a handler file, something like a requirements.txt for dependencies, and your main logic wrapped so it can respond to API calls. For example, if you're building an image generation endpoint or a text model, your handler should accept input, run inference, and return a clean JSON response. This is what allows runpod to expose your code as an API instead of just executing it once. Once that's ready, we select the repository inside the dashboard and move to the next step, choosing GPU power. Now, this is where you need to think a bit strategically. Runpod offers a wide range of GPUs, from 16GB cards for lighter workloads to high-end configurations for serious training or large model inference. And the key advantage here is transparency. You see the exact cost per second, so you can immediately estimate how much your workload will cost. For this example, folks, I'm going with a 16GB GPU because it's perfect for testing and moderate workloads. But here's the important part: you're not locked in. If your model grows or your usage increases, you can scale up later without rebuilding your infrastructure. Next, we click Create Endpoint. And this is where runpod starts doing everything behind the scenes. It pulls your repository, builds a container, installs dependencies, sets up the runtime environment, configures networking, and prepares the GPU. Now think about this for a second, guys. Normally this would require Docker knowledge, environment setup, debugging version conflicts, and a lot of manual work. Here it's all automated. While this is happening, let's talk about GPU availability. Sometimes you'll see warnings that certain GPUs are limited. This just means demand is high. In that case, you can switch to another configuration marked High Supply to avoid delays. This flexibility is super useful when you need fast deployment. Now, mates, let's configure scaling. One of the most important settings here is max workers. This defines how many GPU instances your endpoint can scale to. If you set it to 0, your system stays idle until a request comes in. That means zero cost while inactive. This is huge, especially if you're building something like an API that only gets traffic occasionally. You're not paying for idle servers, only for actual usage. We update the endpoint and start deployment. Now you'll see the rollout process in real time. The platform pulls your code, installs dependencies, and prepares the environment. This is where most people usually get stuck when doing things manually, but here it's streamlined. Once the build is complete, we check the builds tab to confirm everything is successful. If something goes wrong, you can inspect logs and fix issues quickly. But assuming everything works, we move into rollout. Guys, let me take a little break to ask you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free, but helps me make even more fun tutorials for you. Thanks! Now go to the Workers tab. This is where you can monitor your infrastructure. Each worker represents a GPU instance. Some might still be initializing. That's normal. GPUs take a few seconds to spin up. And here's a useful tip, folks. If you notice that your API is getting slower under load, you can increase the worker limit instantly. RunPod will automatically allocate more GPUs and distribute the workload. Now let's run a stress test. We send multiple requests at the same time. In the console, you'll see them entering the queue. Now watch the dashboard. RunPod detects the queue and starts spinning up additional workers automatically. Each worker gets its own GPU, processes requests independently, and returns results. This is real horizontal scaling without any manual configuration. And this is critical, mates. If your product suddenly gets attention, maybe you launch or get featured somewhere, your system won't crash, it will adapt. Another important thing here is request handling. You'll notice that the first request might take slightly longer. That's because the system is spinning up workers. This is called a cold start. But once workers are active, response times stabilize and become much faster. Now let's talk about monitoring and debugging, because this is something a lot of people overlook. Inside the dashboard, you can see request logs, execution times, and queue behavior. This gives you insight into how your API performs under load. If something breaks, you're not guessing, you have data. You can also fine-tune how your API behaves by adjusting worker limits, timeout settings, and scaling thresholds. This gives you control without needing to manage infrastructure manually. Now, friends, here's the part that really changes everything. Scale to zero. Once traffic stops, RunPod detects inactivity and shuts down all workers automatically. From that moment, you stop paying. No idle cost, no wasted GPU time. And this is where serverless becomes powerful. You are not renting machines, you're paying for computation. Also, quick workflow advantage here, mates. Iteration speed. If you update your code and push changes to GitHub, RunPod automatically rebuilds and redeploys your endpoint. That means you can test ideas faster, fix bugs quicker, and move much faster overall. And honestly, mates, this is what makes a huge difference in real projects. You're not blocked by infrastructure anymore. You're just building. So guys, if we zoom out, what RunPod really does is remove the biggest barrier in AI development – infrastructure. You don't need to manage servers, you don't need to invest in expensive hardware, and you don't need to overpay for unused resources. Instead, you get flexible GPU access, automatic scaling, and full control over your costs. For developers, this means faster iteration and easier deployment. For startups, it means you can launch and scale without worrying about infrastructure breaking under load. And for anyone building with AI, it means you can focus on the product, not the backend. If you're excited to try it out, or if you've already used it and have some thoughts to share, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more tutorials. Thanks for watching, until next time.